It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Boom, it's Rusty. What's up, everyone? It is Friday, whatever that means to you in your life. That is where we are. That is what we're doing. Enjoy it. Enjoy all of it because you can. And you should. Why wouldn't you? You're here. So let's fucking party. And today, you're going to hear stuff. Go back, check out our stuff on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, QGBN. Got some interesting episodes the last couple of days. So yeah, go back there. QGBN. Easy, easy, easy. And check it out. Rumble. Well, for this show, for the most part, is there or is all there, but YouTube won't do some of the shows. So most of the shows are here on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, the other show probably doesn't have a lot of episodes on there because it keeps getting strikes against it. So that's what kind of content that has. So this one, there was one this last week that was not up on YouTube because of content. So you can go and check back for that one. But anyways, I don't know, maybe this won't be good for content as far as what YouTube likes. If not, fuck them. We're going here and we're going to be raw because like old dirty bastard, you know how he likes things. So tartar like. So I'm gonna bring in my special guest right here, right now. And my special guest is coming on. And my special guest is Stewart. Stewart Lee. And I hit the wrong button. I only put on one thing of sobriety rocks. Because it does. Sobriety is pretty gosh darn cool. I'm a big fan.
Oh, that's got my
It's
business name on there, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. So it'll pop up what I'm doing my transcription afterwards, and it'll be like, oh, sobriety said whatever each time. So I'll have to change that a little bit before I throw it into my AI machine and let AI do all the other stuff for me as much as I can until I completely remove myself from everything here and just become
A robot.
a robot. And yeah, hopefully my robot self will still have interesting guests like I do today. So
AI is
I
great
hope
though, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, it's awesome. I'm happy you're here, man. I'm happy we got to get you on here, and it was a little while ago. I think that we spoke and we found each other on the internet, and
Yeah.
on those internet chat rooms. I guess what it turned into, I don't know, when Facebook groups, internet chat rooms, they're kind of same, but different in that sense of what you may think internet chat rooms. I don't know how old are you?
I'm 41.
Okay, me too. Okay, so internet chat rooms. I'm thinking back like AOL days, 20 some years, 25 years ago.
When you had
Uh,
phones that could only do like one line of text.
right. Yeah, where you gotta make sure you hit 3, 4 times to do one letter.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it makes everything fun. But yeah, man, I'm happy you're here, and I'm happy we get to have you on. And it's so you're in the UK, is that right? Am I
Yeah.
somewhere? So
England.
it's in England. Okay, so it's like what, 6 o'clock there, something like that.
Yeah, just gone
7.
6 p.m.
Okay, all right.
Where in the
It's
world are you?
I'm on the East Coast. I'm near New York.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, it's 5. I've 5 hours doesn't seem like that much anymore. I used to be on the West Coast, so it was 8 or 9 hours or whatever to over to England, and so it was always always seems so far, but 5 hours still. Uh, yeah, no, because it's cool. Because like the hardest one though, I found though to be able to get time zones synced up with has been Australia and New Zealand. But then again, it's cool that I'm able to have people that are from
Isn't
Australia and
the time
New
difference
Zealand.
that much further?
Um, yeah, it seems like when it's like, I want to say it's maybe, because I feel like if I do it at 5 o'clock at in the afternoon, it's like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning there the next
Wow.
day. Yeah, it's still a lot. But then they like do half hour things too, which is odd. Half hour time difference change, which I don't understand. There's like 4 or 5 different time zones just in Australia.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre.
That's an issue you guys have over there because I was talking to another person from the States on a different podcast, and
Uh-huh.
she was advertising what time my sobriety rocks group is on in UK time, and then she was saying what times it is in the US, and it was like this time Eastern, this time Central, this time, and I was like you guys have got it difficult, like trying to remember different time zones in your own country. We don't have that
Yeah,
problem here. We've got one time. That's it.
you're lucky, man. I built in the last 5 years. I lived in the Pacific time zone, and then I lived in the Central time zone, and then I lived in the Mountain time zone, and now I'm over on the Eastern time zone. So it's kind of got to be all over. But uh Australia, they got all these with daylight savings time. They got 6, 7:30, 8:30, like right above each other is different time, 8 and 9 p.m.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it gets a little confusing. I'm not sure what it is with New Zealand, but um, yeah, it makes everything fun. But the cool part is though, we get to talk to people in real time from anywhere around the world. We don't have to go and like to take a trip to Australia. It would probably take 24 hours each way to
Yeah.
get there, and um, yeah, and then I don't know. If I was bringing somebody on my show, I don't know if I could pay them enough to make it worth their while to spend a day to fly all the way over here, put them up somewhere, and give them,
Travel cost is insane.
yeah. Um, and I mean, yeah. So then over there in England, I mean, you got a lot of you do a good amount of traveling. Do you get to do that for holiday? It seems to be a
Yeah,
bigger thing there than it is here.
I try to get around as much as I can. Like since COVID, like so many things have got so expensive in the country. Like I love football or what you
Uh-huh.
guys would call soccer.
Sure,
Um,
soccer. Yeah.
um, so I travel to Liverpool, which is like from where I live, it's like 5.5 hour drive.
The
And you used to be
Scousers.
able Scousers, yeah. You used to
Yeah.
be able to get a hotel in Liverpool for like 50, £60. Whereas now it's like 150 for the cheapest because of COVID. Like the cost of everything's gone up, so it's probably
Whoa.
cheaper for me to go and have a holiday abroad than it is to get a hotel in England.
Oh shit. Okay.
I went.
So that's
Me and a few of my mates that are all sober. We went to Portugal in March this year, and we found it on a cheap. Like we've got a company called EasyJet over here, which is like a budget airline, and they
yeah.
do holidays as well. And we found a holiday to Portugal with the flights, the transfers, and the hotel, and it cost us £265 each.
Whoa. Okay, yeah, that's yeah, may as well do that. And
Yeah, you can't even get a hotel for 4 nights over here for that price.
so that was for 4 nights of uh being in Portugal
Yeah,
plus the flight and wow, okay, yeah. Yeah, may as well do that. So I mean the flight can't be that long to Portugal. Maybe a couple
it
hours.
was I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes, something like that.
Oh, okay. So then even if you're crammed up and you have those seats where I don't know how tall you are,
I'm not tall.
Okay, so you don't have it where you have your knees up against the thing and you can't move and
Nah, I
you have
don't have
to
that problem.
put your legs out into the aisle
I got
until
all the
the
leg room because I've only got little legs.
oh yeah, you got it good then. That's the way to travel. Like I
But
have
yeah, I
some
was talking to
friends.
when I was talking to someone else in the States, like, because she was from California,
You know,
and it was like the distance from like the bottom of California to the top of California. That's just one state of the US, and that's like she said it was about 17 hours if you were driving.
uh-huh.
Our
Yeah.
whole country's not even that big.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's California takes forever to drive through and it's not too exciting. It's just it's not. I haven't even done the whole state. I've done probably maybe like halfway up the state and up. I mean I've gone down to the southern part, but I haven't done the drive. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of time in the car.
I'm kind of fascinated with California because I grew up in the 90s and I was a big fan of hip hop.
So
But
you were West Coast
yes,
hip hop?
I did like Biggie as well, but
Yeah,
I was more on the Tupac side, Tupac, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg.
right. I mean, yeah, they were huge at our age. Like I remember where I was when I found out that Tupac got shot. I remember because I think I would have been in like I don't know, seventh or eighth grade, maybe somewhere in there. Um,
This
yeah,
is
I don't
another
know.
this is another England US thing that we don't understand. When you say seventh grade, we're like, what's that?
So yeah, like so what it was like 96, 97 when he got shot somewhere in there.
96, yeah.
96. Yeah, I think I was yeah, like whatever, a little bit I don't know, whatever that is. Yeah, I don't know. So how old that is, 13, 14, somewhere in there, I think is where I was. And yeah, I
I
remember,
I'd stayed
yeah.
up to watch the Mike Tyson fight because it was on TV.
Oh, okay. So beforehand, and so and you watched it in
And then
England, so it was at some weird time of the night.
but when the fights are in Vegas, it's normally like around about 5 a.m. before it starts over here.
Oh shit, okay.
But what they do
So
over here is they'll put it on like Sky Sports box office and you pay the extra money pay-per-view to have it. And then you stay up, have an all-nighter. Same with like UFC. When we're watching UFC over here, the main fights are normally 5 a.m.
so what happens with those then? I mean, so are people staying up all night then and then watching the show, or are they everyone waking up early and then getting to watch it?
Yeah, I like if I used to stay up because I used to drink back then as well. So like I used to stay up and like drinking, and then probably
Yeah,
be too drunk by the time the fight's on. If you remember it, but
yeah, which
now I don't drink. And the funniest one was when we had because we've got the. Do you watch UFC?
yeah,
So Conor McGregor, like he was one of our big Irish fighters, and
right.
he was fighting a Vegas fight. I think it was for a title against Jose Aldo. And
Okay.
I went out with some friends to watch it because we were all like boxers and we go to a boxing gym and there's a few of us out that were all boxers and it was really funny because like the fight doesn't start until like 5 in the morning and all the people that are there watching it are all really drunk by the time it's on. In the UK, like when these drunk people are watching fighting, they all of a sudden think they can fight, and
Right.
it was really
Yeah.
odd. It was like a scene out of like an apocalypse film. Like when the pub kicked out at 5:30 in the morning, there was all these like
Yeah.
really drunk people stumbling around trying to fight each other, and they couldn't like two guys in the street trying to fight, and they couldn't even land a punch, and they ended up rolling around on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the same here. And then yeah, even like going to like people coming to wrestling shows, just they're like, oh well, yeah, I can fucking do that, no problem. And
Wrestling's not such
yeah,
a big thing over here as it is in the US. I used to
no,
watch it. I used to watch it when I was younger, like back in the days of like the Undertaker and Hulk Hogan and all that.
sure. And um, so yeah, and then like yeah, with football matches, like the BPL and stuff like that is on it. Like I used to go and watch them. It'd be like 7 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning when it would be on for me here, or when I was living on the West Coast. And so there'd be a few, the few places in town where they'd play it because but this too would have been kind of before. When was that? So let's see. Let me go back. So in 2006, the year that it would have been, I think, right before the World Cup. I think is when they launched. There was like a Fox Soccer channel that came out or something.
Right.
And because there was only so much that they play in the States, and then that came out, and I was going to college at the time, and once that came out, playing 24/7 soccer, all of a sudden my studies kind of went to shit,
Uh,
and
so, do you have a
but
favorite team from the Premier League?
I'm kind of all over. I mean, like the only one that I got to see was uh I got to see Man United play at Nike, but then let's like
In the States,
that's not my favorite team. What's that?
in the States, they played.
Yeah, they played at the Nike World headquarters. They played a game there, like yeah, probably like 20 years ago or so. And I saw them. I'm like, okay, I like them, but I don't know if I have a favorite club or anything now. I'm I don't know, and I haven't been as into it as I was at that point in my life. But yeah, I don't know. I'm for whatever. But that I guess that was who I would be cheering for, but like at the same time,
Boo.
right, especially yeah, around that time, it was I had my there was like 5 or 6 of us who would hang out, who would all watch soccer together, football, and uh, everyone else was an Arsenal fan, and so it was like I was kind of the dickhead who would cheer against them just because yeah, what you
Um,
gonna do? And
my favorite team, Liverpool, they're owned by American owners. The FSG. They also own Boston Red Sox,
oh
baseball
yeah,
team,
yeah. And
Fenway
who
Sports
else?
Group.
He owns someone. It's yeah, yes, Liverpool. Uh, fuck, Liverpool, and yeah, the Red Sox. I think there's something else that he owns, but
Is there a hockey team or something you owned? Maybe.
something like that. Shit. What does the Liverpool owner own? So yeah. So yeah. So I'm like, oh, geez. Well, so LeBron James is a part owner. He's a minor partner for them.
Yeah.
For that guy, for John Henry. So yeah, it looks like maybe it's just those two, just Liverpool and the Boston Red
Yeah. Looks that
Sox.
way. Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
he owns some NASCAR racing team as well.
okay, yeah. And so, I mean, that's an all right deal for him. And I mean, dude, yeah, the Red Sox stuff is crazy here. So, like, where I live, I'm like an hour and 20-minute drive to New York, and then I'm about an hour and 40 uh, hour 40 drive to Boston. And so, um, it's interesting because where I am, there's also not like this little sliver. There's not really an accent where I live, but there's a very distinct Boston and a very distinct New York accent, or there's a lot, a lot of little variations of each, um, but yeah, like yeah, Boston was pretty interesting place. I didn't go out to Fenway, but um, yeah, it was it's cool, man. It's good that you got them branching out. He probably is doing all right for himself.
Yeah, I mean, like when they first took over, I was a bit dubious because we had American owners before, and they were kind
Oh,
of like there was back in those times there was a lot of foreign owners coming in trying to buy Premier League teams because it was the biggest football league in the world, and
right.
a lot of them were like not really doing it for the love of the game; they were doing it more as a business and how just to make a profit. But the John Henry, the owner of Fenway Sports Group, he's done a pretty good job. He took us from like not being very cash rich, and like he's turned us into quite a big club over here now.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, they're nowhere near getting relegated or anything any of these years. And so, uh, which is also something I really like in sports, or not in sports, but in like, yeah, most of the other leagues of football having the relegation.
Yeah,
And then like you got Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, Rob Mac, I can't even say it, McElhenney, owning
yeah,
Wrexham. Is that something that is that news over there at all, or is that
yeah.
still
They
kind of
they
like,
they did like a massive Netflix documentary about it.
yeah,
So the first, so like Wrexham was like they were a big club many years ago, and then so in England you've got league football, which is the Premiership, the Championship, League One and League Two, and then if you're relegated below that, that's called non-league football. So
yeah,
they were in the non-league football for like 25 years or something. And the idea was that they were coming in to try and get them re-promoted. So they did a whole Netflix series about their first season as owners, and they just missed out on the last day by like 1 point.
oh shit, okay,
Um,
yeah. So I mean that's good for season two for the show
well, it's
to
not
bring
good.
it
It's
along.
not good for them financially wise because it costs them a lot of money. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a season two because they were promoted last season, so they finished filming it. The new season that's out now on Disney Plus, and
oh okay,
watch season two now, which is the season where they do get promoted.
oh okay. So then yeah, they did get promoted, and okay, and then
It
get
took them
to
2 years, but yeah, it's good. But yeah, they kind of um, they created quite a lot of buzz around the team. Really, like there was not many people that really knew like who it was or much about the club at all. But they made it
yeah.
quite a like yeah. From watching this, I watched the series, the first series. I haven't watched the second season yet, but it looked it was made it quite interesting to watch. I go and play football on like I play for a league called Dads Be Dads, and it's
Yeah,
like it's a group of dads that are like middle aged and not very fit anymore that just meet up and play six aside against each other.
nice.
And the rule is like they pick the team and they say you've got a red team and a white team. So you
Yeah.
turn up in a red top or a white top, depending on what team you're on.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I bought a Wrexham top because they play in red. So I bought
Ah,
I bought a Wrexham top just for playing when I'm on the red team.
it works out pretty all right. Yeah, man, I'd love to get back into. I haven't played since I was 25. Um, so do you play outside or do you play inside?
Outside on like AstroTurf pitch.
Okay. Oh, good. I mean, so yeah, I'm from Portland, Oregon, and it's the weather is pretty similar to what you have. And so, I mean, because when I remember being a kid and they would have the metal spikes on the bottom of the shoes for a
Yeah,
very short while. We were able to use those because I mean, even if it stops raining, it's still going to be soaking wet and the ground's still going to be wet for 3-4 days at least afterwards because there's no sun. So I mean, always just kind of got, the just come home and just covered in uh grass and mud, and spending an hour after each match just trying to pick all the shit off the bottom of your boot. And
Yeah, it's quite.
but yeah,
I like the AstroTurf because it's not as dirty, so it's quite nice.
yeah, as long as you're not, and I mean, being 41, you're probably not doing too many slide tackles or uh
There's not many rules in the game, but that's one of them because we like because the whole point of the Dads v Dads League is to have it like fun game of football with no attitude. So one of the rules
oh,
is
cool.
one of the rules is no slide tackles.
Yeah, that's gotta help. Okay, so then then playing on AstroTurf, yeah, once you get the bounce down, figuring out that bounce, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's pretty nice. And
Yeah, it's good
um,
fun. I haven't played for quite a few years either. I went back. I had a bad knee injury a few years ago, and tore my ACL, and I'm still waiting.
uh,
I'm still waiting for knee surgery. But I've been doing physio to build it up, and I've only recently gone back to playing football with a knee support on to try and see if I can cope with it.
how's that going?
It's not too bad because apparently, if you with the knee, the ACL is only there for stability,
Yeah,
and if you build the muscles up around it good enough, then your
yeah,
knee will be stable enough with just the muscles.
building the muscles in the legs, and the hips and the ass.
It's all
Uh,
in hips.
it's all in the hips. Yep. I mean, I had 3 knee surgeries, and so uh, yeah,
I've
like
been,
that's
uh,
part of the therapy that they were doing. Yeah, make sure I'm getting all the other muscles around it just to stabilize it. And yeah, I
yeah.
mean, but so do they have indoor leagues there? Is that a thing that they play
Um,
there?
they probably do. I haven't found any near where I live because I've only recently moved to this house.
Yeah.
Moved in with my partner. So I moved. I was in South Devon and she's in North Devon. So it's like a hour and 15-minute drive from where I used to
Oh
live.
shit. Okay.
I'm
And so,
just getting
yeah,
new. I'm new to the area. I'm just making new friends.
well, that's a good way to do it. Get out and start playing. And yeah, especially so with that then also then, so I mean, because I mean, if you're not, going to the bar, and so like that's another thing, like the people at the bar are, you go and, wow, how long has it been since you've, I don't want to ask the same questions you've kind of got asked everywhere else, but how long has it been since
I've
you were
I've been
drinking?
I've been sober for over 10 years now.
So for over 10 years, okay, how many of the people are still going to be in the same bar seat, at the same place, doing the same thing, 10
Talking about
years
the same
later?
shit.
Yeah, say talking about the same shit. And it's like, yeah, I'm just a little past 9. And yeah, I mean, I could go to the same bars I'd went to, and the same people would be there doing the same shit. And
Are you
so
sober? Are you sober too?
yeah, or I haven't drank for, like 9 years in August it was. So
Get on.
yeah, so it's nice. And I don't, that's one thing I don't miss. I've talked about this too, like before, uh like drinking was something I you see people drinking, I'm like, haven't got to a point where I'm like, that sounds like a good idea.
Mm.
Smoking cigarettes, like if I go and I see them at the store, I see a nice fresh pack, I don't want to buy them. Someone smoking one, I don't want to smoke one. But if I see one that's like half smoked and stepped on the ground, I'm like, oh, I can pick that up and smoke that. That seems like a good one to smoke. But that's like the only time, and I haven't found a way to just completely get over smoking cigarettes. But yeah, I'm not too worried about that. And that's also been like, oh, I think that's coming up on 10 years.
Yeah,
Um But
I gave up smoking too, like 13 years ago.
yeah, and so do you ever get that with smoking cigarettes?
No, when I gave up, I don't know if they've ever had this in the US. There was a thing over here at the time. They had a medication called Champix,
Okay,
um,
yep,
and it was like you start off on a small dose and you start taking tablets and you build them up to a higher dose. And what the tablets do is they send like a dopamine effect to your brain, like it's had the nicotine.
right.
So when you're smoking, you don't really want it because your brain thinks you've had the dopamine hit already. So you're kind of smoking it thinking, I don't really want that. And then you decide a day that you're going to stop, and you stop, keep taking the tablets for 12 weeks. And then what the tablets do is they cap off the nicotine receptors in the brain and kill them.
Yeah.
So then you don't think like a smoker again. And so since I gave up, I've had one cigarette, and that was only because I went out for a Christmas party with my tattoo artist.
Yep.
Because he was on his own with a group of females and wanted some male company. So I went out with him, and he was like, "Oh, you don't drink, you don't do cocaine, so at least come and have a fag with me." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess so."
Yeah.
I went and smoked a cigarette with him, and it was fucking awful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm good. That's done. Yeah. Nothing to worry about there with that. It works out. And so, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. So then it's nice to so you're like picking up other stuff then like I don't like what would you be, you
Yeah,
know,
my I like I've kind of got to a point in my life where I've realized that like I love getting the dopamine effect, and like that's what the addiction was all about for me, was like getting that hit. So I still
yep.
do it now, and I accept that I still have to have it in my life, but I just find other ways of doing it that are not going to kill me. So like healthier ways of getting dopamine. So I took up boxing for a few years, and I was doing boxing for a while.
How was
Um,
that?
and that was great fun. Like
Yeah.
it was not long after I first got sober, and I know it was one of the things I'd always talked about. You know, when you're drinking, you talk about all these great things that you think you can do and never do it. And boxing was
And-
one of those things. So I signed up for it, and I got a promoter to actually like get me a fight on like a semi-pro white collar show
Oh
before
shit.
I'd even trained. I threw myself in the deep end, and
Whoa.
then I went and found a gym and said, "Can you teach me to box?" And the head coach there was like, "Well, yeah, that's what we do." And I said, "Okay, cool. I got a fight in 12 weeks."
So
So
12 weeks in, you got to fight.
I thought I was
How
going to get
that
my ass kicked because I
did you get
hadn't.
your ass kicked?
No, so it was really funny because like 6 weeks into the training, the coach said to me, "Like, I don't think we can do this. Like, you're not picking it up quick enough. You're not ready for a fight." And
Yeah.
I said I don't back out now. I said I've told him I'm doing it, so I'm going to do it. I don't care if I got my ass kicked. And he was like, "Okay, it's up to you, but you know you might get hurt." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." And
Huh.
I carried on training, and he took me up there. We're from Devon, and we travelled up to Bristol,
Yeah.
and it's quite a funny story because so we get there, and there's like a massive crowd of people at this show, and I've got about 12, 13 friends bought tickets and drove up. And then
Oh shit.
they got everybody in the ring to like announce who was fighting who. And then so they announced the guy that I'm fighting, and there was probably like half the crowd stood up and were cheering this guy. Like he was really popular in Bristol. And then
Oh,
they
the
called
guy that
me
you
out.
were
And
going against?
yeah, and they called my name out, and the whole crowd was booing me. And I was like, oh no. So I'm there thinking
Even
like,
better. That did
yeah,
that get you
everyone's hating
fucking
me.
amped?
Yeah, everyone's hating me. I'm the underdog. I'm thinking I'm gonna get my ass kicked here. And then so we got in the ring before the fight, and then my coach said to me, he said, just try and bob and weave, move out of the way, avoid his punches, get back to the stool at the end of the first round, and then we'll tell you how to win. He said, if you make it back from the first round, we'll tell you how to win.
Oh shit. Okay.
So, and then the bell went, and something just triggered in my brain. I all of a sudden knew how to box, and I kicked his ass for the first round. Got back to the stool, and my coach was like, "What the fuck happened to you? You've learned how to box."
And so
So
then what happened the second round?
second round was pretty much the same. I kind of dominated the fight all the way through, and then at the end, like the referee's there, and the ring announcer's like, and the winner is Stewart Bang Bang Lee. The ref lifts my hand up, and I'm like, the buzz I got from that was better than any drug I'd ever taken in my life. It was like the best high ever, and it lasted for months. But then obviously, like, I get announced as the winner. His fans are going mental, like booing, jeering. Someone threw the bone from a chicken wing into the ring, and it bounced off my boxing glove.
You got so much heat in your first match that went through a fucking chicken bone at you. Awesome, man. You're doing something right, man. You know how to work that crowd, man. You got them that pissed off at you, man. I mean, how many people can go out and elicit that kind of reaction on their
Yeah, but I
first?
was scared then because I thought I was going to get beat up by someone in the crowd afterwards.
Then they would know, like, yeah. So then, were people waiting for you in the parking lot?
No, it was all good. Like he like a lot of it is kind of like in the moment stuff. Like people are really like they're really passionate about it for if it's one of their friends that's fighting, so they don't like their friend losing. But
Yeah.
I guess at the end of it, it was a fair fight. He'd never had any fights before. I'd never had any fights before.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it was a fair fight. I won, and me and him are still friends now. Like, I think
Cool.
that was about 9 years ago now. I had that fight, and me and him are still friends now.
Do you, did you end up training together at all, or do you just kind of keep in
Well, I
touch
mean,
and what?
we live in different cities, but like when you're in that kind of boxing scene, you tend to get to know a lot of the people, and you see them at different other shows as well. So when you see them at other shows, you like stop and have a drink with at the bar. Not an alcoholic drink, obviously, but like
Yeah. What do you drink now? What have you switched to? Have you gotten any like weird shit that you start drinking? Any
not
weird
really.
combinations, or you
No.
just drink just water?
So I mean, I drink. I if I'm at home relaxing, I'll actually drink alcohol-free cider. So I don't know if they do it in the States, but over here they've got like a brand called Copperberg, which
Uh-huh.
is like a fruit cider. So it's like strawberry and lime flavor or mixed berry.
Oh, that sounds good.
Um, and so when I first got sober, I stayed away from alcohol-free substitutes because they just reminded me of drinking alcohol, and I didn't like
Right.
it. But I never used to drink the alcohol-free. I never used to drink fruit cider because it wasn't really around when I was drinking.
Yeah.
So when I drank the alcohol-free version of it, it didn't give me any kind of euphoric recall of being out drinking. So it kind of felt
Cool.
like a safe alternative. So it's just like it's alcohol-free cider, but it's basically like a fizzy, fruity drink. That's all.
That's kind of what I went to. Like the fizzy fruity drinks is kind of where I went to, and like a lot of people now drinking those fizzy fruity drinks, the like
Energy
you
drinks.
know the energy drinks and the hard like or whatever the alcohol seltzers and stuff that
Mm.
they have like the whatever all that stuff kind of went that way. But yeah, I mean like I don't know, and yeah, found some other. Okay, I gone through all kinds of weird shit, drinking a lot of other things that I didn't really drink before, but
I drink a lot more coffee now.
yeah, yeah. How do you drink your coffee?
So me and my fiance, we've got like a proper machine that grinds the beans. So you
Oh,
make grind the beans, filter it through, and you can make a proper cappuccino coffee.
awesome. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man, if you got it.
Mm.
And so then you're just drinking a black, or you put sugar or milk in there or anything,
No,
or
yeah, I do it with like frothy. I make a like an espresso coffee and then fill it with frothy milk on top.
Yeah, that's my drink over here, man. We're just doing like pretty much the same
But
shit.
But I think now, because like we've got the machine that makes it and it's like nice and strong because it's like freshly ground bean coffee.
Yeah.
I don't drink as much of it. Like I'll have one in the morning, maybe one at lunchtime, and then I won't have any more for the rest of the day. Whereas like when I used to drink instant coffee, I would drink it like cup after cup because it didn't really do anything.
Yeah. Yep, the stuff that you just kind of heat up the water and just drop the little crystals in, stir it up.
When I was working in an office, I would probably drink like 7-8 cups of that a day.
Shit. So what was that kind of the regular for everyone that worked there? Was everyone kind of on the 7-8 cup of coffee train there?
Coffee or tea, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite a hot. It's like office culture is quite a lot of like hot drink. Everyone's on the hot drinks in the office for some reason.
So, are you working at home then now? Is that your?
I do. Yeah, I do. My job's hybrid now. So since COVID again, like they realise most people can work from home. So
awesome.
I do 50% in the office, 50% at home.
Is that good for you? Do you like? Do you miss being in the office full time, or what's your kind of take on that?
I kind of like it the way it is because I like being in the office to have a bit of banter and have a laugh with people and connect with people. But I also like my own company as well, so I feel like I can get more work done if I'm at home working because there's no distractions.
Yeah, it seems that way. That kind of happens.
So when I know I've got a load of work to do, I'll stay at home and get it done. And then if I know that I've caught up on everything, I'll go into the office and take the piss out of people.
Yeah, just go in there, just shoot the shit. Just go in there, just
cause trouble,
socialize. Yeah, cause trouble, right? Yeah, yeah, that seems all right. And so then, I mean, and then with like with that, then so is there like company like outings or anything, like you go out with the people you work with? Is there anything like that? And is that different now that you're not drinking, or do people give a fuck?
They tried to arrange a Christmas party with the team, but there wasn't many people that replied, so they've changed it to like, I mean, I wasn't going to go just because it was on the weekend that I've got my kids, so I wouldn't be able to anyway. But they're changing it now to like just get a few of them going out for a meal, which I'm up for that. Like I don't mind going out. Like this is something that people find weird about me. Like I can go. I've got to a point now in my sobriety where I don't mind being out in places where people are doing drugs or drinking. I find it quite funny that like I see the states they're in and think I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
So, and I always told myself that I didn't want to stop doing the things that I enjoyed because I don't drink. I wanted my life to be the same, just with no alcohol. Yeah. So I used to love going to, I think you call it EDM music over there, like rave.
Okay.
Music.
Yep.
I used to love going to raves, getting off my head, taking ecstasy and forgetting the night. But I still love music. So I've got to a point now where I can still go to a hardcore rave and just not take any drugs or drink. And I enjoy it more now, even though everyone else is like off their nut.
Right. But then you're able to wake up the next day and not have to kind of lose a whole day afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because I call myself the undercover Gurner because, like, have you been to a rave before? You know,
yeah.
You know, like when you're on the dance floor and there's like a real like good tune on, and you catch someone's eye on the dance floor and they make a face at you like, oh, that's a good tune, and you make a face back at them. So there was a guy at one of these raves and he kind of did that. He like did a bass face at me like, oh yeah, this is a dirty tune, and I did a face back to him. And then later on, I went to the toilet And as I was washing my hands, he came into the toilet and recognized me from our little embrace on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, mate, look at your eye, look at my eyes, I'm fucked." And I was like, "Yeah, mate, you're well fucked." And he went, "Look at your eyes, you're well fucked." And I was like, "Yeah, mate, I'm fucked." And then just walked off. And he thought I was done drugs.
Great. He he's probably happy with that interaction. It worked out all right. And like, okay, it's cool, man. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I got that. Like, even when I'm, totally fucking nothing, everyone's like, "Oh, you're fucked up." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yep, I'm fucked up, man. Totally fucked up. All right, fucking party." But makes them happy. There's no, you know, let people think whatever they want, and that's
Yeah.
also kind of something.
That's a beautiful place to get to when you don't give a fuck what anyone thinks of you.
Yeah, I like to say, once you shit your pants, you can't shit your pants anymore. And like whatever, man. I don't give a fuck, dude. Like I've been down there. Like there it is, man. What's the worst that's gonna happen? So fuck it. Let's just do this. And
Let's do it again.
let's do it again, man. Um, and so yeah, where are people gonna find you on the internet to work with you, to fucking listen to you, to check out what you do?
I've got a few. I've got I've got my own personal platform on Instagram, so that's at Stewart_Lee_author, and that's got all the stuff about my book that I wrote. And then I've got my sobriety platform that I've created that's called Sobriety Rocks. That's a little platform that I'm using to try and help other like-minded people get sober if they want to give it a go. And that's one's at Sobriety Rocks UK. That's the same on Facebook, so facebook.com/Sobriety Rocks UK. Yeah, you can chat to me on there. Come and have a look at the stuff that I'm doing, and if you're sober curious and you want to see how you can have fun being sober, because that was the big thing for me when I first got into sobriety, was like I didn't think I'd have any fun if I was sober. The myth was there that like you need to have alcohol or drugs to have fun, and I'm just kind of trying to prove to people that life can be more fun without it if you do it the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'm all for that. And yeah, it can be a lot more fun, and a lot less headaches, and a lot less. I mean, we still all do dumb shit, but it's different kind of dumb shit than we may have done before.
Yeah.
So
my sister says that when I was drinking, I was a drunk dickhead. Now that I don't drink, I'm just a dickhead.
Perfect. That sounds like me too. I like that. I think that's the great place to fucking let it go. So, dude, thank you so much for being on here, and I really
Thank you
enjoyed
so much.
getting to talk to you. And yeah, we'll have you back on here in a few months and do this again. All right.
Yeah, defo, mate. Lovely.
All right. Sounds good. Have a great rest of your day.
Adios.
All right. Dude, that's Stewart right there, man. Right there in the flesh. Stewart Lee. Sobriety rocks. So thank you everyone for being here on the Quantum Global Broadcasting Network, QGEBN. And this is the Public Access Podcast, and I'm Rusty Diamond, and that is the show. Man, boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Ernest! 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 Yes, Pee-wee.
You brought the snacks, right?